Adlai Stevenson once said that in America, anyone can become president. That's one of the risks you take. And we could Rotarize that, couldn't we? We could say that in Rotary, anyone can become president. That's one of the risks you take. They elect you, they clap, they cheer, they shake your hand, they send you off for a weekend, all expenses paid in beautiful Inglewood, California. A weekend of celibacy. No, that was my year. Then they ask you to do what? They ask you to listen to people like me, grab the reins of your club and run 50 or so, that's 50, Rotary Club meetings. I can tell you this, running a Rotary Club meeting is a hell of a lot more fun than a weekend of celibacy. That joke worked better when it actually was a weekend of celibacy. But it's not more fun than pets, you see. My profound hope for you this morning is that your pets will be for you what mine was for me. A truly defining moment in my Rotary experience. And I believe it will be. I would like to talk with you this morning about how you can create enormous positive energy, have a tremendously positive and long-lasting impact on your club, energize your club, facilitate your club goals, grow your membership, have more fun than a human being should be allowed to have, all in the way you run your weekly meeting. Too good to be true? Let's have a look. One of my favorites, Thomas Edison, was a man who knew a little something, you see, about seizing opportunity. How many patents did Edison obtain during his lifetime? 1,309 patents. And these were not pet rocks, were they? No, these were mostly based upon life-changing inventions. Late in his life, Edison was asked a very simple question. How does one achieve at such an extraordinary level? His answer was, I think, both simple and profound. Listen, opportunity is missed by most people because it comes dressed in overalls and looks like work. Now, your weekly meeting may look a little bit like it's dressed in overalls. Maybe not. Maybe you've got a great-looking meeting. But it's certainly going to be work, isn't it? To prepare and to execute 50 or so weekly meetings. You have here what I call an Edison opportunity, an opportunity to inspire, to motivate, to energize, to inform, and at the same time, to improve your public speaking. So, you're about to run your first club meeting in less than 4 months. 4 months. Now, if you have doubts, on a personal note, if you have doubts about how that might go, I think you're normal. You're certainly not alone. Number one fear of incoming presidents about their first club meeting. Scientific survey. Suppose they gave a Rotary Club meeting and nobody came. I think that's a normal thought. How about this one? I just want to get through the first 3 months without everybody disappearing. I think those kinds of thoughts are normal. We all have them. But I want to set your sights a little higher this morning. No, I want to set them a lot higher. We're going to talk about 5 keys to success. I want to talk about running a Rotary Club meeting so that by year's end you have standing room only. So that your club gains a reputation as a club that visitors want to visit and guests want to join. And so that if I visit your club, which I may well do, I can tell from your meeting alone that this club knows what it's about. This club knows what it's doing, and it's having a lot of fun doing it. We'll talk about 5 keys to success. We'll talk about the elements of a great meeting and how the keys to success fit in to the elements of a great meeting. And finally, we'll talk about some potential problem areas as time permits. Problems that we can anticipate and nip in the bud. Let's talk a little bit about what's in your materials before we go any further. You have some gems, and you have some not-so-gems. You have an outline of my remarks. You have a quick reference guide, which, by the way, is intended to be used later on down the line if you decide you want to remember something that was said here this morning. The outline is there. What else do you have? Sample songs. We'll come back to all of these. Sample songs, sample ecumenical invocations, sample induction ceremony, sample president's minute. Come back to those in a little bit. You also have worksheets. Did you hear me? Worksheets. You need a worksheet to get control of what? Timing and content. We'll come back to that frequently. Timing and content. You need a worksheet. Get it on your computer. Get it somewhere where you're comfortable with it, because that's how you're going to get control of timing and content. You also have, let's not forget, some exciting recommended bylaws and constitution. Article 3, Section 1, President. It shall be the duty of the President to preside at meetings of the club and the board and to perform such other duties as ordinarily pertain to the office of the President, and so on and so on and so on. What's the only duty called out in that bylaw? Meetings. Meetings. This must be important. And it is. It all begins with your weekly meeting. Next one. 5 keys to success. And yes, there are 4 in the picture. Once received that on an evaluation. Next, let's talk about the first key to success in running a weekly meeting. Energy, vision, leadership. Some folks say this should be energy plus vision equals leadership, and who can argue? If you have energy, you have vision, and you, hear me, communicate them, you can't help but lead. Guiding your members down a path, all the while communicating to them why that path is important, as opposed to that one, or the exit. Come to think of it, this is a heck of a good formula for your entire presidency, the success thereof. Okay, Donald, then why are we talking about it now in connection with meetings? Because it's also, you see, a great formula for running a meeting. Let's see how. Energy. Still number 1. Energy. Listed first in the formula. Why? Because it's absolutely critical. This is not being loud, by the way. This is not being hyper, although I may appear to be both. Energy, in this context, it's not even, I think, enthusiasm. It is, in my estimation, closer to the word passion. Passion. You know that energy comes from our belief in what we're doing. That's where it comes from. That ought to be easy for us in Rotary. Why? What do we share in this room? Rotary, service above self. If we can't work up energy for this, we've got a problem. Houston, that worked better in Texas. We've got a problem. You might be interested, maybe not, in the definition that Webster gives us for energy. Listen to this. Capacity for action, usable power, strength or power efficiently exercised is what? Uplifting. Good morning and welcome to the San Clemente Sunrise Rotary Club. We're glad you're here. We have a terrific agenda. Positive energy is what? Contagious. So is negative. We'll come back to that. Positive energy is contagious. People want to be around it. Even the tables that won't tell you that. This one right over here, we'll come back to this table. You know the table I'm talking about. Even when they don't tell you, they want to be around it. Communicate with energy and with passion, and you will get your club meeting moving, and bonus, you'll get your club moving as well. And you'll set a great pace. We'll come back to energy when we talk about key number 4, setting the tone. We're still on 1, vision. Remember, energy plus vision equals leadership. Vision, what's that? It's not a mystery. Misused word a lot. Wisdom to imagine and foresee what could be. Wisdom to imagine and foresee what could be. Isn't that great? What is vision? It's a broader concept than goals, isn't it? You are being asked to set goals. I submit to you that your goals don't have much meaning if they're not set in the context of a vision for your club, where your year fits into last year and years before and future years. Example. Goal for my year, 1 additional major fundraiser. What's the vision? Financial stability, year to year. Perhaps the creation of a charitable foundation down the line. That's a vision. It defines why your goal is important. The best presidents have it, and, hear me, they communicate it every single week. in some form or another. And we'll see how you can do that. There are lots of ways to do that. Lots of chances during a meeting to do that. Next, preparation. Key number 2. There's my man preparing a Rotary Club meeting. You know the rules. 3 rules for public speaking. Preparation, preparation, preparation. Stated another way, advice for success. Be like a duck. Above the surface, composed, unruffled, below the surface. Paddle like crazy. You can't do that with a microphone, can you? This is the preparation. The paddling. You can tell when presidents have prepared, can't you? You can tell when they can't. I haven't. It's the second time I've done that this weekend. You can tell when they haven't. The telltale shuffle of papers, the forgotten announcement, the meeting that runs over. Preparation. When you stop and think, Rotary presidents that run great meetings look effortless while they're doing it, don't they? How do they do that? Natural talent? Some. Okay. Mostly preparation. They do the extra. You've seen this. The difference between ordinary and extraordinary is that little word. Do the extra. Do the work. Work the worksheets. Get control of timing and of content. That's how you prepare. Timing and content. And you will have extraordinary meetings. Number 3. Key number 3, taking control. How do you take control of a Rotary Club meeting? Group of volunteers that you have before you. Other than with your natural good looks and your charisma, much on display, I might add. May I state the obvious? You are the president. You have been asked to do this. They want you to take control. They do. If for no other reason, because they want to get out on time. That's not as flip as it sounds. They have businesses. They have families, a lot of your members. Rotary Club meeting is like a train. Make too many unscheduled stops, you won't get there on time. It's your job to get the train in on time, so you need to take control of the meeting. Okay, Donald, that's great. That's just great. How about some tools? How about this? You're the only one in the room that's got it, unless you give it away. If you give it away, know who you're giving it to and why and for how long. Otherwise, what have you done? You've lost control of timing and of content. Anybody got an announcement? Did you ever hear a no when somebody asked that? No. So, here's the microphone. It's your tool. Best use of a microphone to control a room that I've ever seen. 1981 or 2, Royce Hall, UCLA, Bill Cosby, center stage, in a chair with a microphone. Masterful guy at using a microphone. Noah. See, you know what I'm talking about. Masterful. Use it. It's your friend. If you don't have a naturally dominant personality in a room, this is even more your friend. Right? And when that table gets a little out of control over there, you're ready. You're ready to move the pace, because that's another way to take control, is to set the pace. Move it along. This is not a forum, is it, for frustrated performers? People who want to tell bad jokes. You're going to set the pace and move it along so that you can take control and move the meeting along, bring it in on time. They'll respect you for that. Number 4, setting the tone. What's a good tone for a Rotary Club meeting? I propose this: energy, fun, with a serious mission. Give me this much, would you? No Eeyore presidents. You know Eeyore. It's my birthday. See, I can't even do it. Nobody cares. Let's start the meeting. What? No, sunrise presidents. Part of your job is to wake people up, especially this hour of the day. Say, have you ever noticed how many non-morning people there are in morning clubs? What's up with that? This is not about being loud. This is about energy. This is about paying attention to the tone that you are setting. You know that energy is contagious. You know that studies on effective communication say the same thing. What's the most effective tone for getting and holding attention? Whisper. Energized whisper. Now, I'm not suggesting you whisper your way through your meeting, unless you want to. No, I'm suggesting that you need to pay attention to the tone you are setting. Give me some energy, and don't let the naysayers get you down. Here they are. Here's my table right over here. Hey, everyone, Simmons here just uttered a discouraging word. Somebody once asked me if this is a group of past presidents. Could be. No, damn the torpedoes. Full speed ahead. Want to or not, you set the tone for your year. You don't have a choice. Every time you take the podium, you send a message. This club is going nowhere. It has no energy. It has no vision. Or how about this? This club's going somewhere. It's making a difference. It's growing. It's thriving. You are going to want to be a part of this. That's the tone. Next, number 5. There they are, my favorites. Enjoying themselves. Too obvious, you say? Maybe. You know this is going to be great fun, right? This whole meeting thing. Yes, it's going to be fun is the correct answer. But you've also taken on, I grant you, a certain commitment here. Seems to me you have a couple of choices. You can decide to take on a whole bunch of new stress. Boy, aren't you going to be popular at home. I speak from experience. Or you can decide to work hard, relax, and enjoy yourself. And boy, is that going to show. Boy, is that going to be infectious. And oh my goodness, is that going to change the face of your meeting. You have here what I call the Edison opportunity. You have a real opportunity to change the face of your meeting, to make a real difference in your club meeting, and thus in your club, and thus in your community, and thus in the world. How often does that opportunity come along? Enjoy it. Let's walk through a meeting. A couple of preliminaries before we do that. I mentioned that good presidents communicate their goals, next, and connect with their vision during meetings. Next. Thank you. This is not a mystery. I count 7 opportunities during a meeting to do just this. And what does it mean? It means a time in your meeting where you connect with the things that you want your club to achieve. The things that are truly important. You make choices. You prepare. Because you want to highlight certain things. And I'm going to show you ways to do that as we walk through the meeting. Next, handling the order of business. Let's talk about what handling the order of business next is not. Please, bring up the cow. There he is. She is. Not a sacred cow. If it's not moving, if it's not giving milk, maybe it's time to make a change or two. Hamburgers. Thank you. Maybe it's time. You know, I think the challenge here is to retain the things that work, the things that contribute to your club's tradition, but dare to change the things that simply don't work. You might as well. I'll almost guarantee you that at some time during your year, somebody's going to come up from the crowd and say something like this. Donald? Well, they won't say Donald. It hasn't been done that way in Rotary in 200 years. And what will you say? Thank you, you're with me. Hasn't been around 200 years. But how about this? Thank you for your input. I appreciate that. I think this is going to work. I think this is going to make our club meeting better. Subtext? I be the president. My blood, my sweat, my tears, as you take control and make a couple of changes that need to be made. Next. Okay, here we go. Let's walk through this meeting of ours. Go ahead until we get to handling the order of business. Next. You got to get set up. Next. Day of the meeting set up. You got to get the banners up. You got to make sure the tables are configured. You got to make sure this works, right? No, you don't. You have help. Good help, right? Officers, directors, past presidents, good resource. I set up the room in my club when I'm there. Keeps me humble, gives me something to do. I like to have the room set up because I remember what it was like to be a president and not have a room set up for me. You've got other things to do that morning than that, or afternoon, right? I once visited a club, not in 5300, I promise, in which my first view of the president, sitting president, and he wasn't sitting, was this. Hey, Jimmy, microphone doesn't work. Now there's a first impression of a Rotary president. You know, you've got other things to do. How about this? Where's the door? How about you're over here? Pressing the presidential flesh. Greeting members, greeting guests, talking to people, taking the pulse, being presidential, being a Rotary president. What a wonderful touch. And how seldom it happens. If you visit any number of clubs, you know I'm right about this. How seldom it happens that anybody shakes your hand till you make yourself completely visible and make your presence known. Wonderful touch. You've got other things to do the day of the meeting. Next slide. The welcome. Where do we go? President's welcome. You know what's coming here. One of the most important things you will do all day is the President's welcome. Why? First opportunity to set the tone. Thank you. Energize the room. Good morning and welcome to the award-winning San Clemente Sunrise Rotary Club. We're glad you're here. Notice I said award-winning. Not a club in this room hasn't won an award at some time or another. Meets the four-way test. Sets a great tone. Let your visitors know. Ooh, it's an award-winning club. I wonder what for. And he's asking the guy next to him, what'd you win an award for? And away they go, setting a tone. And he doesn't know, I know. First opportunity to connect with goals and vision. How? Come on, Don, how we do it in the welcome. How about a vignette? Good morning and welcome to the San Clemente Sunrise Rotary Club, official sponsors of the 7th Inning Stretch Mentoring and Tutoring Program for at-risk kids. We're glad you're here. What have you done? You've planted a seed. You're not using a hammer. You're planting a seed. This guy over here at this table, what's the 7th Inning Stretch? Guy next to him, though, you ought to come try it. It's great. Tutors are getting as much of it out of it as the kids are. You see what you've done? You've kept in front of them, put in front of them something that is truly important about the difference your club is making in the community. Remember, our famous experts in public speaking say the same thing. First minute, absolutely key in anything you do. Key to the success of what follows. So think about it. Prepare for it. Know how you're going to do the opening. Doesn't have to be long. Has to be thought out. Next. Invocation. Flag salute. Let's talk about the first two first. Those two, invocation and flag salute, can be great moments. Or they can be completely ordinary. Right? Give me this. Let's use the keys to success. Watch this. Your energy is key. And it's a given now, right? You're going to give me some energy. But you don't have control over both of these, do you? You have a flag saluter and you have an invocator. You're not going to get energy from them every time. Be nice if you did. So what are you going to do? You're going to prepare them. You're going to tell them what you want and how much time they've got. So you can move it along. You can set the pace if you have to. You're going to prepare these two things. No reason to prepare these the night before. Certainly not the day of. Do you ever get that call from your sitting president? Donald, will you pray for me tomorrow? Sure, be glad to. I'll think about you all day. Prepare. And while you're talking to your invocator and setting that up well in advance, how about we tell the invocator what's an appropriate invocation in Rotary? Not the PETS Committee, disclaimer, not the PETS Committee's opinion, my opinion. The most violated rule in Rotary, failure to use ecumenical prayer. Invocations are intended to bring us together, not to divide us by religion. That's not the forum. Wrong forum. There are lots of great ecumenical invocations. You could find them in the notebook. A couple based on the prayer of St. Francis. Great stuff. There's some beautiful invocations out there. And how about this? Second opportunity is the invocation to communicate goals, connect with vision. How? How about you tell the invocator a little something you'd like in the invocation? We're ever mindful of our need for guidance in our mentoring and tutoring program. What a great touch. You've highlighted the issue, the program, and you've invoked a higher power. What could be better? Second opportunity. All right. Okay, Donald, I'm ready. I'm prepared. I've talked to my people. I'm ready to go. I look out over the podium, and my invocator is not here. What do we do? How about this? Here's my suggestion. Prayer at the ready. Right here. Not a word about the missing invocator. Pull it out. Let us pray. And away you go. We're grateful for this time of service and fellowship together. If you've got a preacher's kid in the crowd, you can always use somebody like that. Although, I speak from experience, I am one, preacher's kids are dangerous. Why? Because they've prayed the same way since 1952. I just gave away more information than I wanted to give away. You know the tag to prayer, if you're in a certain faith, it's going to be there. It's hard to take it out. But I don't pray that way when I'm at a Rotary Club meeting. My opinion. All right, song. Song can be terrifically energizing. It can also be deadly, right? Deadly. In my club, we make it a big deal. Mr. Video Man, this is going to be loud. Good morning, singer. In my club, silly, yes. Very. Does it bring the room alive? Yes. Energy. I'm not saying you have to do that. But we got to think about the rules of song leading, don't we? If we're going to make this a magic moment. 3 rules of song leading. You need a song leader with some energy. I lost Eeyore. Oh, here he is. No Eeyore song leaders. One that'll work the room is great, right? A little bit of energy would be nice in connection with the song. How about number 2 rule? Get off the same 2 songs, if you're on them. She'll be coming around the mountain. And, dare I say it, let me call you sweetheart. Sorry, not going to do it. My opinion, not going to do it. I know the history of let me call you sweetheart. I know, in Rotary. And God bless America. Let me be clear, I like that song. But not every week. It's the fallback American Rotary Club song, is what it is. And that makes it ordinary. It becomes ordinary in a lot of clubs. So, second rule, get off the same songs. Number 3, dare I say it, never more than 1 song. Hard moment to sustain as it is. 3 songs? You watch the room. It's easier when the liquor's been flowing. Truly, if you have a nighttime club, it's easier to sustain that kind of a moment. But goodness sakes, have you watched the big room during the 2nd song, the 3rd song? Watching the watch, watching the salad dressing, watching the cell phone, going to the bathroom, going to the bar. No. In and out. Big moment. Universal. Universal music. Yes? Make it quick and make it energized with a nice big finish. You need a good song leader. Next. Meal fellowship. Keep going till you find meal and fellowship. The meal, seems to me, is a missed opportunity for some presidents. Good time to take the pulse. Have a little bite to eat, but how about you work the room? You know that empty chair that's been at that table for a month? Let's find out where that member is. If maybe somebody knows. If you haven't already made a call, made presidential contact, take the pulse. Meal and fellowship is also what we call course correction time. Yes, and you're going to get really good at this quickly. You are. You'll know if you're 5 minutes behind, you're 10 minutes behind. You'll have a good feel for it by the time you get to the meal, if your meal's in the middle. Then you make the course correction. You knock 5 minutes off the lunch, they're not even going to notice. Well, hey, Donald, I got 5 more minutes of lunch. No, you don't. No. What's my point? The point is, get control of timing. Use the only fluff time you got, which is the meal, to make a little course correction. Get back on track. Get control of the timing. Next. Introduction of guests, honored guests. Notice I said honored. Honored guests. I recommend firmly that you take control. Keep going till you get to this. That you take firm control of this. Why? Because many of your members could not introduce a guest properly to save their soul. So educate them on how to do it with dignity, respect, courtesy, honor. Very important. Why? Because every guest to your club is going out there as an ambassador after they leave your club. I was once at a club where a Mr. Sears was introduced. The president said, "Hello, Mr. Sears, glad you're here. I'm Roebuck. Who's minding the store?" All right, come on, it's not even funny. Roebuck's been out of the picture for how long? Appropriate, marginal. Sears is an ambassador for your club. Send him out with some dignity. Send him out with some sense that he was welcomed and honored and treated with courtesy. Don't forget those Rotary visitors now. Good thing for the president to take care of, because a lot of your members don't know who these people are and what they do in this wonderful world of Rotary. And finally, there's the annual visit by the governor. 2 years ago, I received this email from a then-sitting governor, and it asked me to include a little something in this presentation about the annual governor's visit to your club meeting. It starts like this: "Donald, boy, do I have horror stories." You don't want to hear the rest. But I drafted some rules for the day the governor visits your meeting. Rule number 1, don't act surprised. Rule number 2, he or she is the program. She's it. She gets the whole enchilada, the 20 minutes, the 25, whatever it is. Number 3, courtesy. Okay, we have some fun. How about a little honor and respect? How about letting your membership know what this woman does in this district? Many of our governors put their lives on hold for a year, you know that, or 2, while they get ready to be governors. Tough job. It's a tough job. Let your membership know what it is. How long did it take you to know what a governor does? Don't say you still don't know. It takes time to know that. Educate your club. Great opportunity to do so when your governor comes to your meeting. Next, membership notes and President's Minute. Membership notes, good time to talk about members who are sick, spouse, somebody out of town, with permission, of course. Great segue into the President's Minute, which is not a minute, by the way. You have a great President's Minute in your notebook. It's called the Pinto and the Jaguar. What is a President's Minute? It's a terrific opportunity to talk about the things that matter, to communicate goals and connect with vision. It's also a time to personalize you, to talk about the things that matter to you, a piece of prose, a goal that's been achieved. I've been president for 2 days. We've already accomplished a goal. It's a great time. These can be magical moments and an essential connection with your membership, a bond of leadership. How do you feel about what you're doing? Have you told them? Have you talked about those 2.2 billion with a B polio vaccines since 1985? Have you talked about those estimated 6.6 million kids walking the face of the planet this day, polio-free, because Rotary was there, and only because Rotary was there? These can be magical moments. Use them. It's also an opportunity, a great opportunity. Third, as I count it, to communicate goals. Announcements is next. Important to get control of announcements. Essential to getting control of timing and content. 2 kinds of announcements. One, all the positive announcements about all the great things that are happening in your club and when the tutoring is. And we had 17 tutors last week. And sets a great tone. Then you move on to the coming events, the exciting events that are coming, which we screen, don't we? Can't talk about everything in Rotary every week. Got to make choices, got to prepare. Got to choose the things that you want to talk about that are coming up or that you want to hit every week. Some of those too. So screen them. They'll get used to it if you don't already. How about an email from somebody who wants to make an announcement? Remember this microphone. Give it away. Open it up. you've lost control of timing and of content. So be careful with your announcements. Fourth opportunity to connect with goals and vision, because you're making choices about what's happening with the microphone during this period of time. Next, induction of members, new members. Have you ever seen something like this? We got a new member today. His name is Wendell. Stand up, Wendell. You don't have to stand up. Have a seat. Here's your pin. Congratulations. End of ceremony. I exaggerate. Mostly. How about this? How about an induction ceremony? Befitting induction into the largest and most accomplished service organization on the face of the planet. You'll find one in your notebook. Maybe you have one, but we certainly need that, it seems to me. Next, program. We're moving right along. Let's go till we find program. The most common complaint, of course, that I hear about programs is length and how to stop the 40-minute speaker. Easily done. We'll come to that in a minute. For now, you've heard the story of the man who spoke to a Rotary Club meeting for a half an hour. And when he was done, somebody from the crowd stood up, came forward, and said, you know, you were much better than our last speaker. Our last speaker spoke for an hour and said nothing. You did it in half the time. You can use that on your evaluation sheet. Maybe I didn't do it in half the time. Programs. The most obvious opportunity, right, to communicate goals and connect with vision. If you have a major goal for your year, why would you not have a program about it early? Early on. A good program. A great program. To inspire. Put your club in spirit. Inspire about that program. I wanted to take control of my programs. This is the fifth opportunity, by the way, to connect with goals and vision. I wanted to take control of my programs in the first couple of months. I wanted to line them up with the RI calendar. I wanted my program person to understand where my year was going, what my goals are. And I wanted to avoid the clunker program in my first 2 months. You know what the clunker program is. You've sat through a Rotary Club program that seems to suck all the air out of the room. What do you do when that happens, by the way, tone-wise? You put the air back in. You rise and re-energize the room. Got to. It's up to you. And you can do that. Easily done with courtesy, with dignity, with the utmost of courtesy to the speaker. Quick aside. Years ago, I was at a club that had a program that was a fitness guru. It was my club, and it was a fitness guru who was looking for a volunteer. I was volunteered to have my body fat measured. The short story is that after that, it occurred to me that a bit of wisdom about programs would be that a Rotary program, any program, on a Tuesday morning in my club is a good program in which I don't get my body fat measured. Now there's a bit of wisdom to take home with you this weekend. Cheerful giving and raffle. We're going to speed up here because we got to get done. Cheerful giving and raffle. My major piece of recommendation here is flashing yellow light over the cheerful giving. Make sure it's cheerful. It's a major irritant. This is fining. Major irritant in some clubs. And why should it be? It's not a big budget item in most clubs. So be careful with it. We clear everything in our club. From $1 to $1,000, we clear it. If somebody stands up and gives money, that's great. But otherwise, we stay away from the irritations. Raffle. Sixth opportunity, my friends. How? Sixth opportunity to connect with, how do we do that? Half the proceeds of today's raffle are going to the 7th inning stretch mentoring and tutoring program. You see what you've done? It's not a hammer. You're keeping in front of them the things that you want them to achieve. Closing. President's closing. Raffle over. See ya. Ding dong. No. No. You know what's coming here. This is important because they're going to remember this. How about we thank our guests? How about we talk about the great opportunities for service that are coming up this week? How about we talk about what the program is, the fitness guru next week? the great programs. Why should I come back? 2 rules of closing. Always connect with your goals or your vision in some way. It doesn't have to be long. Number 2, always, always, always end upbeat. No matter how you think it went. And trust me, it went better than you think it did. Okay, 7 opportunities during the meeting to communicate goals and connect with vision. Opening, prayer, President's Minute, announcements, program, raffle, closing. Let's handle some problems quickly. Get my man up there, the man handling problems. Next. There he is. Attendance problems. Go ahead. You will undoubtedly during your year have the experience that most presidents have, and that is at some time looking out over the podium and discovering that the masses aren't quite as massive as you'd like them to be. I'm going to ask you to do something at that moment that is not easy. Don't let it bother you. If you do, you're gone. I'm a terrible president. Where are they? Why did I take this job? No, we don't handle attendance problems in our head at the meeting. Tough to do, I grant you, but no. And we certainly don't handle it out loud. You've heard presidents handle complaints or complaining about attendance from the podium? No. Wrong message, right? What's wrong with it? Preaching to the choir? Wrong kind of energy? Negative energy begets negative energy? 3, and maybe most important, you have guests. Is that the message you want to send? True or false? To your guests. No, of course it's not. Okay, so Donald, how do we do it? How do we handle attendance problems? I like those little emails that go out now the night before a meeting. We're having a great meeting tomorrow, man. Give me some energy in that email about how good it's going to be. Remind people that it's happening tomorrow. I've seen that improve attendance a lot in clubs where people have busy, busy schedules. How about this? How about presidential contact? If you have time, and I hope you do, it doesn't take that long, to make presidential contact with people who aren't attending. Never underestimate the power of of a Rotary president to make contact with these people. How you doing? Everything okay? We miss you. I need you. Could you come next week? Do the flag salute for me. Make contact. You see, I wanted to handle attendance by turning a negative into a positive. Not by talking about the people who aren't there, but talking about the people who are there and thanking them and recognizing them, and thus creating the kind of energy that people want to be around. Scooters. I firmly believe that if you follow the keys to success, you shouldn't have a scooter problem. I didn't say you wouldn't have a scooter. I said you won't have a scooter problem. Why? Imagine, if you will, a meeting that is prepared, in which you take control. You set a great tone. You touch base with some important stuff. You end on time. You enjoy yourself. You will not have a scooter problem. Now, yes, you'll have a scooter or 3 now and then. Be careful with those. In my club, we have a woman who leaves every time 10 minutes before the end of the hour, or the end of the meeting. Why? To take her daughter to school. Scooter, schmooter, we're not talking about that. She's a great member. She's presidential material. So be careful with the scooter thing. Much overemphasized, I think. You know, we seek in Rotary younger members. They have some lives, they have professions, they have businesses, they have families. So be careful with that one. And by the way, a scooter at 8:40 when the meeting was supposed to end at 8:30 is not a scooter. That's a presidential problem. Lack of control, maybe lack of preparation, who knows? Scooters. Speaker no-show. What do you do? Boy, that's a big hole, isn't it? What if the speaker doesn't show up? Are you a good song and dance man, woman? By the way, piece of advice, never buy new shoes the day before pits. That's one, yeah. What are you going to do? How about a DVD of Rick King or Cliff or somebody that you can insert? Remember, they're on DVD now. You can skip around. You don't have to play the whole thing. Or a craft talk at the ready. 2 or 3 people. You've got members like that, don't you? Who love to get up at a moment and take the mic and do a little craft talk for you. So be prepared. That's the key. Be prepared. 40-minute speaker. How do you get rid of the 40-minute speaker? How about we stand up? Rude? No. No, I think what's rude is a speaker who exceeds your specific instruction about how much time he or she has. You've given that instruction, right? Yeah. If you still have a head table, not many clubs do anymore, but you always pass a note if you want to soften it a little bit. You're done, dude. Easy. Easy. Piece of cake. All right, next. We're almost done. Anecdotes for nerves and stage fright. This is something I was asked to insert several years ago. I'm very pleased to do it. If you are not the best public speaker on the planet, you can still run a great Rotary meeting. How? A couple of things are even more important. Prepare, prepare, prepare is even more important. Script it if you have to. Write it down. Then when that table over there tries to throw you off, not going to work. You're going to be like a European train. That's regular and on time. You're going to move right along. You're going to go back to your script. I guarantee you, you won't need it very long. A couple, 3 weeks, and you'll be confident from the podium. Number 2, know the room. Eliminate the unknown to the extent that you can. Be familiar with the mic. Be familiar with the room that you're going to be in. It's very important in public speaking to be comfortable, as comfortable as you can, physically. Bad shoes don't help. Number 3, relax. Enjoy yourself. I know that's easier said than done. Still really nervous? Maybe we're taking ourselves too seriously. Let's take a deep breath. Laugh out loud. I love that laugh. Yes. Now, if you're about to do something in this meeting thing that you haven't done before, you have my hat's off to you. I have the utmost respect for those who take risks to get better at something, and you will get better at this. You'll get good at this. My favorite philosopher is on risk-taking. Do you think it's better to live in stupefying security or to take risks and live life on the edge? I think it's better to accept danger and live to the fullest. I take it by your silence that you agree. And Hobbes, of course, is long gone. If it's any comfort to you, if this applies to you, many presidents start off the year scared to death of running a meeting. But they go on to become great presidents. How do they do that? By training the butterflies. By training the butterflies to fly, not in random flight, but in formation. By harnessing the energy. That's what great athletes do. You know, the ones that throw up in the locker room before they go out and accomplish great things. I'm not suggesting you throw up before your meeting. It works. You're going to be great. Keeping control. We're almost done, promise. This is your year. Bullseye's on you. If you start to lose control, take it back. Use the tools. It's okay to lose control now and then. Just take it back and move it along. They want you to do that. I did it my way. Let's keep on going. I did it my way. If I had time, I'd sing it, but I don't. I did it my way. It may surprise you to learn that some presidents are intimidated by their more seasoned members. Don't be. Stick with your energy. Stick with your vision. Damn the torpedoes. And know that no matter what you do, at some point, I predict, somebody's going to come forward and say something like this. Mr. President, you gored my ox. Be prepared for that. But know also that if you are dynamic and you are energized, your club will achieve great things. And you will lead the way. And one day you'll be standing out front, maybe feeling a bit lonely. And you will turn around, and there they will be. Let's come back to where we started. I hope you see the payoff for skillfully run meetings, energizing your club, facilitating your club goals, growing your membership. I leave you with this. I said at the outset that in Rotary anyone can become president. Not true. You have been chosen by a group made up of who? Business and professional leaders, men and women in the community. That's a big thing. That's an honor. They have asked you to take the reins and lead the the club through the coming Rotary year. And your charge is to take your club meeting and thus your club to the next level, to a new and exciting level. And I say to you, congratulations. This is an exciting time for you. It really is. You are about to tap the full measure of your energy and of your vision and truly lead. And do you know who's going to benefit? You are. Your club is. And most of all, those to whom we give in service. That's what it's all about, isn't it? Thank you for being here. Thank you for answering the call to serve. You do us proud, each and every one of you. Godspeed, and have a great year.